Perelman, he was charismatic, an engaging conversationalist who enjoyed meeting people. He was fascinated by the wealthy, by who they were and what they liked and how they lived. He loved elegance and possessions. Most of all, he loved houses. You could see it in the way he showed houses to his clients, in the relish he took in the home's location, or in some obscure architectural detail, like the scuttle-hole trapdoor in the roof through which the occupants scurried to put out chimney fires. He knew everything about houses, from how foundations were poured to the way ceramic roof tiles were baked. He didn't just know who McKim, Mead, and White were. He knew which of their houses had historical importance and which were considered, in his words, trash. Late at night, over in Armagnac, he talked wistfully about parcels of land and great beach cottages, like an aging Lothario recalling lost passions. His love of business, mixed with a quick mind and a charming but superior attitude, gave him the golden touch in Hamptons real estate. For more than 20 years he ruled the market, becoming famous for listing the choicest homes with the most exclusive clientele. Schneider's firm made some of the flashiest sales in the history of Hamptons real estate. It was the driving force behind the sale of the $6 million acreage for the new Atlantic Golf Club, and was the agency that sold Calvin Klein his house for $6 million. Perhaps Schneider's greatest pride and joy was West End Road, his street of dreams in East Hampton. He took great pleasure in driving important clients to this narrow street in his gray Mercedes sedan and boasting, "I sold every house on this road at least one time." The road is less than a mile in length, and it is perhaps the most exclusive strip of property in the Hamptons. It is unusual, not only because it is a dead end, but because it funnels into a narrow promontory that separates the ocean from Georgica Pond. The houses on the south side of the street stand high above the dunes and fields of sawgrass. Those across the road have an unparalleled view of the shimmering, halcyon Georgica Cove to the north, its far shore dotted with sprawling mansions and timbered boathouses. "They used to call this the Trip Strip," Schneider explained, a hint of a British accent sometimes seeping into his voice, "because the anchor of the 20 or so houses on this road used to be the one owned by Juan Tripp, the founder of Pan American Airlines and a president of the Maidstone Club. Calvin Klein is in there now, and it's no longer the anchor. I guess you could say the first one on the right that I sold to director Steven Spielberg is the anchor." Schneider was gesturing to an unprepossessing white gate wide enough for only one car to squeeze by. A small placard stuck in the ground said, "Kell Barn." Tall bushes hid from view anything other than a dark gravel drive. "It doesn't look like much from the outside," Schneider said, "but it's the only house in the Hamptons that was ever guarded by a crack team of retired Mossad, the Israeli Secret Service." Without a doubt, not only is Spielberg's house the most important on the block, but the film director is probably the jewel in the crown of the Hamptons hierarchy of celebrity. In the Hamptons, there is ne plus ultra than Spielberg and his wife, Katie, actress Kate Capshaw. He is a reluctant potentate, in residence only during the summer months, and even then rarely seen in public. In fact, he is loath to have his presence in the Hamptons publicized at all, seeing the place as a sacred refuge, even though he has twice invited the cameras of Architectural Digest beyond his gate. The Spielbergs live in pristine white buildings of classic geometric shapes. One, a massive square barn attached to a huge circular silo. Another, a long, low rectangle, all sheathed in rows of cedar shingles stained milky gray. At the highest point of the main building is a weather vane in the silhouette of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, an homage not only to Jurassic Park, but to Spielberg's abiding interest in dinosaurs. The guest house has a spine of glass skylights and 3 separate master bedroom suites. Since this is a child-friendly estate, each suite has its own adjoining dormitory room, designed in a ship's captain theme, furnished with 4 built-in bunk beds. The artifacts of family life are everywhere: games and toys, easels and paints, musical instruments, and myriad computers or state-of-the-art electronic equipment. A giant-sized TV